Simplisparity forms of self-consciousness, ghosts, dwarves, elves, and other similar phenomena. Oris, please elaborate your opinion regarding castaway souls. There is no such thing as castaway soul in my understanding of it. How about ghosts and some other similar entities and the like? Do they exist? Oh, these are Simplisparity forms of self-consciousness. Our configuration consists of a multitude of various personalities. Personalities that evolve along various paths of development within the framework of a given synthesis schema. Our biological form is based on the two dominant synthesis scheme involving all love and all wisdom, pure cosmic qualities. But there are other combinations of these forms which have, for instance, attached a more compatible quality to the existing two, such as all aspiration, and, as a result, manage to go beyond the biological existence at the expense of this added third dominant quality. Hence, they exhibit other energy information form, possessing other properties. It could still be a biological or a non-biological form, however, it is definitely different from ours. And there are these who do not differ very much from us. It is a variety of various near-human development areas, dwarves, elves, and all sorts of brownies, as well as many, many other forms of self-consciousness. I suppose I have depicted all that in the volume 4 of Iissiidiology. In fact, I have covered that information in the volume 5 as well, so you can read all about them there if you wish. Thus, upon the creation of any motivation towards any kind of action or choice we make, there are many of our forms of consciousness that participate in the process, not only forms that we see or are accustomed to. That process of our collective participation occurs unconsciously to us. We are also manifested as our other forms of consciousness on an unconscious level, and these of our form are defined as simplisparative forms. A biological form, it is a mixed form, and it is structured by a vast array of various simplisparative forms in various areas of development, sorted by various interests. And some of these forms manifest through the so-called essential states through something that surveillance cameras sometimes record, when some creatures supposedly come out of nowhere committing some conscious actions. This is a more complex issue than you think, because our perceptual system can perceive the world only according to certain combinations of features, while there is an exorbitant number of feature combinations that we are not able to determine, because we have no experience in terms of communication or even cognition of anything of this kind previously. Therefore, we have no way of positively identifying these forms of self-consciousness, and can only detect and identify certain insignificant part of their activity, which we at least somehow are familiar with. There is a well-known example of this around the time of Columbus, when his ship sailed near the land. Indians didn't even notice it because prior to this they have never seen European ships and didn't know what it was. According to Indians, these ships appeared out of nowhere. It also applies to the example with other unfamiliar forms of consciousness we might encounter. It is also connected to various phenomena. For instance, fire. We can observe its plasma state and we can somehow interpret it, projecting certain of our properties onto it. We can also manipulate with fire to a certain extent. However, because what we consider a fire is a part of a much more extensive consciousness configuration, we are not able to perceive it in its entirety due to the great limitation of our perception systems. That generally explains why we do not consider a fire to be some sort of conscious entity, but in fact, absolutely all possible forms of phenomena we encounter in life always represent certain forms of existence and self-conscious organization. So our ancestors who worshipped fire, wood, or storm, how does all that make sense? Absolutely, especially if they possessed an ability to see anything on an extrasensory plane. They definitely knew that this is a living creature and not just a piece of wood.
Поэтому в зависимости от того, насколько эти сущности отличаются от нашей схемы синтеза,
Therefore, depending on how much these forms of consciousness differ from our synthesis schema, determines the capabilities of our perception system, using which we are able to perceive them in the form of either human, near-human, or other light forms of self-consciousness. These could also be our Simplisparitivenye forms of consciousness, which we sometimes call ghosts. This is a very complex topic, minutely covered in volumes 4 and 5 of Iissiidiology.